Kadosh Boker or Masechet Gittin Daf 78:1. The Gemara says on the first line, Lechazazita. It's a moist skin eruption. Okay, that is basically moist on the outside and dry on the inside. Letishev chite arzanyata. You're going to bring the 7 plump wheat kernels. V'neklinu amra chata. You're going to roast them on a new metal shovel. V'nafik mishcha minayhu v'nishuf. You're going to oil. So oil will ooze from the kernels, and then you're going to smear it on the affected area. Rav Shimi Barashi did this to Nove Kochavim, the Davar Acher for something else. It was leprosy. He touched it and he was healed. Amar Shmuel comes and he says, one who's smitten by a Persian spear. I mean, somebody comes with a spear and hits him. It's a Persian spear. He will not live. But before he dies, he should be fed fatty meat on coals and undiluted wine. But at least he can live a little bit and instruct his household what to do. Meaning at least it cures him for a little bit, that he's able to tell his family, listen, this is what he wants them to do. Amar Ravili Barabin, says Ravili Barabin, Haiman de Bala Zibura, somebody who swallows a hornet, Michya Lochaye will certainly not live. Adahachi Vahachi, meanwhile, before he dies, Nashke Reviata de Chala Shamgas, he should be given to drink a Revita strong vinegar. Efshar de Chaye Purta Umafke Lebete, because maybe he'll have him a little, he'll live a little while longer and be able to instruct his, the same thing. Wow, swallowing a hornet, he doesn't live. Okay. He has to drink a Revit of strong vinegar. You know what that is? Wow, okay. Amar Rabbi Shua ben Levi, says Rabbi Shua ben Levi, Achal besar shor belefet. If somebody eats beef with turnips, and he sleeps in the open under the moon on the 14th or 15th of the night during the summer season, he'll be seized with a disease called achilu. What is achilu? The Gemara is going to explain. Tana, we learned in a Braita, mikol davar, if you fill your stomach with anything, also, that means he basically overeats. He's going to get achilu as well. Amar Papa says, even if you fill yourself up with dates. So says the Gemara, Pshita, obviously, what's the difference between dates and other foods? I would have thought say more since where it says dates, they satiate, they warm the body, and they loosen the bowels, and they provide energy. And although sweet, they do not spoil from one who partakes them. So I would say that there's no problem. That's why, by the way, dates satiate. So many people before a fast, they eat dates. And it also, you see here, it satiates, it warms the body up, it loosens the bowels. It's like prunes, that they let a person go to the washroom. So dates, the same thing. And it provides provides energy. So he says, so I would have thought that's fine. What is ochilu? My ochilu? Fire of the bones. How do you say that in English? There's a certain sickness like that. It's like that the bones are like warm, like it's hot, but it's a fire of the bones. My eshel atzamot, bone fire. Esh karmi, bone fire. It's called here fever of the bones. Some people say it consumes the marrow of the bones. Because since it's fever, it takes away the marrow of the bones. Yeah? It could be. Okay. So Maya Suta, what do you do then? Abaye says, Amra liye, my mother told me, Kulu shakyana tlata v'shiva utreisa. All the other medicinal beverages are taken, right, for either 3, 7, or 12 days. The haya denitase, but the following remedy must be taken continuously until he's cured. Kulu shakyana liba rekana. Basically this, everything that we spoke about until now was 3 days, 7 days, 12 days, whatever. And here you have to do it until you're cured. Kulu shakyana liba rekana. All other medicines, they have to be taken on an empty stomach. But this one is differently. It's after he ate, drank, went to the washroom and leaves himself, and he exited the washroom and washed his hands. He's going to bring a fistful of lentil porridge. And a fistful of aged wine. So he kneads them together. So he puts the wine and the porridge of the lentils together. And then he's going to wrap himself in blankets and go to sleep. So that means he eats it, and then he wraps himself up with a lot of blankets, and he goes to sleep. So he starts sweating a lot. Nobody's supposed to wake him up until he wakes up on his own. When he wakes up, he's going to take off the blankets immediately. V'lo, if not, hadad will go back onto him. So immediately he wakes up, quickly take off all the blankets. Wow, and he has to do that all the time until he gets cured. Interesting. Okay. Amale Eliyahu Rabbi Natan. Says Eliyahu Navi to Rabbi Natan. Do you know a person should eat a 1/3 of the capacity of your stomach, drink 1/3, and leave 1/3 empty? That's the way you're supposed to do it. Eat, drink, leave empty. That's the way it should always be. Meaning you never eat to your full capacity. Okay? When a person gets angry, right? Ta'amod al miluecha. This way, if you get angry, you will be filled to the capacity. Why? Because basically anger causes the stomach to feel full. So one who leaves room in his stomach will not be adversely affected by anger. But if you fill yourself up and then you become angry, it's actually very, very bad. Right? So Tani Rabbi came and he said, if somebody doesn't want to have intestinal illnesses, it always gets into dipping his bread in wine and vinegar in the summer and the winter. So that also, if your meal gives you pleasure, withdraw your hands, don't overindulge. And never delay going to the washroom. If you have to relieve yourself, go immediately to the washroom. Never wait. Sometimes wait. It's not good. Go right away to the washroom. Okay? Amar Morukva comes and he says, Haiman deshati tilia chibara. One who drinks white tilia, inferior type of wine. Okay? Uchasto vitek is liable to be seized with feebleness. Amar al-Chasa says, shitin mine chamrahavu. There are 60 types of wine. The superior one is aromatic red. And the most inferior one is white tilia. Amar Rav Yehuda comes and he says, one who sits near a fire in the Nisan mornings, and then he oils himself and goes out to sit in the sun. He's going to get feebleness. What was the feebleness again? Weakness. Okay. Tanu Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. Somebody bloodlets and then has relations. He's going to have children which are weak. If they both had let out blood, and then they had relations, they're going to have children which are afflicted with ra'atan. Ra'atan is like an illness, which is like a cranial organism that causes extreme weakness. Okay, Papa says, Lo amran ela but that's only if they didn't eat anything. But if they ate something, so you don't have to worry. Because basically, if they eat after bloodletting, so they're going to be okay. Amar Rav Chana says, Rav Chana, if somebody comes to the path and he has relations, he's going to have weak children, right? Because basically, when a person comes from the path, he's very, very weak. So he's going to have weak children. Tana Rabbanan, we learned in the Braita. If somebody comes from the beta kisah, don't have relations right away. Until he waits for a half of a meal. So here it says it's going to be 9 minutes. Okay, yes, wait 9 minutes. Because the shed of the beta kisah accompanies him for that time. And if he has relations, he's going to have epileptic children. Okay, we learned in the Braita. If somebody has relations standing up, he's going to have cramps. If he has it sitting, he's going to have delaria. The Gemara is going to explain. Also, if she's going to be on the top and he's going to be on the bottom. My delaria, what is delaria? Some delaria dardira. The antidote for delaria is dardira. So what is dardira? So he says, saffron that grows in the hedge of wild thorns. Yeah, but he didn't explain though what is delaria though.
It's when you
Here it says like yawning.
Yeah, yes, that's the word.
So he just starts yawning. Okay. So Rav Papa, Alis Ubalale, Rav Papa would chew saffron and swallow it. Rav Papa Alis Vishalile, Rav Papa would chew it but then spit it out. Amar Abaya says, Mishan Bakibi Derech Eretz, someone that's not professional in the Derech Eretz, in the potents, right? Impotent. So therefore, what does he do? She'll bring 3 kefizaz. Kefizaz, a vessel that holds a revit, that holds 3 revits of saffron from a sheep manure. You're going to grind them up, and you're going to boil them and drink them, and then he becomes potent. Right? Rabbi Yochanan says, this brought me back to my youth. Meaning that this is potion, and all of a sudden now he's young again. It's like a type of one of these, yeah. There are three things that drain a person's strength. These are the three things. Pachad, derech, ve'avon. Anxiety, travel, and sin. Because these things, right, they like anxiety, meaning pachad, he's afraid that there's going to be a war or regret of sin or the punishment of sin. So it makes a person weak. Pachad, that his heart was engulfed with anxiety and therefore he didn't have strength. Derech dichtiv, inav derech kochi. Right, right, and avon dichtiv kashal bavoni kochi. The three things that tear it down of a person's body. If you eat standing up, or if you drink standing up, or if you're going to have relations standing up. There are 5 things which actually bring a person closer to death than to life. If you eat and immediately get up, meaning after you eat, you should still stay sitting. Don't stand up immediately. Drinking and you get up immediately. If you let blood and you get up immediately. By the way, they do that even until today. When you let out blood, they tell you, stay sitting. Don't get up right away. Right? Like, wait. Yashan v'amad, if you're sleeping and you get up immediately. Right? Shimesh v'tov v'amad, if you have relations and you get up immediately. Same thing. Meaning, after all these 5 things, take your time. If you jump up immediately, it's dangerous. Right? You have to wait until the blood pressure and everything.
It's funny because they said that you have to sit when you wake up and you stand up from the bed, 12 seconds.
12 seconds?
Oh,
wow.
Moderni is 12 words.
Bemet?
Yes, I have that.
Very nice. I never heard that. They said 12 seconds is like the science. It's like that. This you need 12 seconds, and then Moderni is 12 seconds. Very nice. I never heard that. Okay. So, but it's not only just to do with the waking up in the bed. You see, it's relations, waking up to the bed, this, that, and now you understand why they say that with the relations, you finish your relations, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to wait inside until all the tipin go out. Maybe it's for that. That you don't get up immediately. That you're waiting also. That means you just finished, but you don't get up immediately. You wait until all the drops of the semen comes out.
Yeah, but
right?
Even after it's still comes out.
No, but even if it still comes out, but you wait, but maybe that waiting period was that you don't get up immediately. It's the same thing. Because we just said eating and get up, get up. The same thing, maybe bracha acharona is the same thing. When you say bracha acharona, you say bracha acharona before you stand up. So same thing. So meaning it's not that you're just jumping up right after eating or drinking or all these things in order that you don't have the problem of what we just mentioned. Shisha, 6 things. Ha'oseh miyad met. If you do them immediately, you die immediately. If somebody comes exhausted, right? V'yikiz dam, right? And he lets out blood. Then he goes to the bathhouse. He drinks and he gets intoxicated. Because he sleeps on the ground and he has relations. He will die.
6 things?
Yeah, these are the 6 things.
Repeat them slowly, please.
It's basically he's going to come from the path, and therefore he's very tired, lets blood, goes into the bathhouse, he drinks and gets drunk, he sleeps on the ground, and then he has relations. Interesting if this is each one separately or all together.
That's what I was about to say. That's why I wanted to repeat it. Seems like it's each separate.
All. No, you have to do all of them. He dies immediately. So it means if a person did all these 6 things together, so he just came back from the path, he's exhausted. Right away, he takes out blood. He goes to the bathhouse. He drinks and he starts getting intoxicated. Sleeps on the floor, he gets up and he starts having relations, boom, he dies on the spot. Yeah? Amar Rabbi Yochanan, says Rabbi Yochanan, not only do you need all of them, you have to do them in the same order. And if you flip the order, that the guy went and he had relations first and then he it has to be in this order. Amar Abaye says, Kesidran met. If he does it in that order, he dies. But if he doesn't do it in the order, he gets weak, but he doesn't die. He says what? The woman Murat, she did only 3 things to her slave, and he died. He says, no, he was a weak slave. So since he was already a weak slave, even doing 3 was already enough to kill him. But really, you need all 6. Shmona, Ruban Kasher, there are 8 things that are harmful if you do it in abundance, but beneficial if you do it in moderation. Veluen, derech, the derech eretz, travel, relations, osher, wealth, umelacha, labor, yain, v'shena, wine and sleep, chamin, v'kazat dam, warm water and bloodletting. Meaning, if a person does it too much, it's not good. If a person has relations every day, it's not good for them. Right? If he works too much, it's not good for them. If he's going to do wealth, too wealthy, it's not good for them. Melacha, too much work is not good for them. Too much wine, too much sleep, too much warm water, bloodlet, it's not good. But if you do it in moderation, it's very good for you. Okay? Shmona, matim et zera. There are 8 things which minimizes semen. Veluen, salt, hamelach, hara'av, hunger. You have to be, don't be hungry. If you're hungry, it's not good for the zera. Netek. A netek is usually one of the type of tzarat. Bichya, crying. Crying takes away from the zera. Shenal gabekarka, sleeping on the floor. Uganiot, eating coriander. Ukshut shelo bizmana, or eating hops, not in the proper season. Akazat dam lemata kiflaim, and bloodletting below. What is below? The Gemara is going to explain. Is twice as harmful for the semen. Tana, we learned to the right. Just like bloodletting below is twice as harmful. So to bloodletting above is twice beneficial. Papa says, what do you mean below? Right? Aina mubet, 70b. Lemata mina betzim, meaning we're talking about below the testicles. Lemala mina betzim. So the Gemara says, V'kshut shelo bizmana, hops which are not in the proper season. Tana, keshem shekasheh shelo bizmana, just like hops are harmful when it's not in the proper season, so too it's going to be beneficial in the proper season. Papa says, Zmana Tammuz, the proper season is Tammuz, the summer. Shelo bizmana is in the winter, Tevet. Yomeni Sam Yomet Tishri, during the days of Nisan Tishri, it doesn't matter. Okay? Amar. Now the Gemara is going to speak about the next discussion with a quote from our Mishnah. Amar kitvu galishti. If somebody comes and he says, write a get for his wife, and then Kodyukus seized to buy him, and he got him. The Chazav Amar, then he says, Al tichtavu, don't write it. And we don't pay attention to what he just says now. Why? Because we know that the guy went a little bit crazy, that he really wanted to give a get. Amar Bishom Lakish says, you write it and you give it over immediately. Rabbi Yochanan says, you don't write it until he recovers. Meaning when it becomes better, you write it. My Tamad Rashakish, what's the reason that he said that it's nothing? So Rabbi Yochanan is going to come and he's going to say, and it's nothing. Because when the husband's mind clears, the agents need to consult him again to ask permission to write the get. So therefore, you can't write it until he actually recovers. What's the machloka between Rabbi Yochanan and Shakish? The Shakish compares the husband to somebody that's sleeping, and therefore, right, they're still empowered to write and give the get because he's sleeping. Yeah, he's awake, but he's sleeping really bad. He's not 100% there. But Rabbi Yochanan says, no, he's considered now a shoteh. So ever since he's considered a shoteh, that's why it's not going to come, and it's not going to help. Rabbi Yochanan, so why doesn't Rabbi Yochanan also compare him to one that's sleeping? So he says Yashen is not lacking an action. This guy is lacking an action to cure him. Meaning when a person's sleeping, all they have to do is wake up and they're up. When a person's got this ukodyukus, he needs a remedy to get out of this, the sickness that he's got. So why doesn't Shakish say that he's considered like a shoteh? It says shoteh lo sami bidan. It says a shoteh, there's no cure in our hands. Hi, this guy, we do have a cure in our hands. Meaning a person that becomes crazy, there's no cure. Here, there is a cure. We were able to get rid of this kodyukus. Because we said he has to eat lean meat boiled on coals and drink watered down wine. So says the Gemara, Rabbi Yochanan actually say this. If they come and they cut somebody's throat and they sever 2 of the passages or the majority of the 2 passages, and he makes a hint to write a get for his wife, they could write it and give it. The time we learned in a Braita, if they saw that he's cut into pieces or hanging on the gallows, and he hints that they should write a get to his wife, they should give it to him. Right? So you see from here that you're allowed to do that. They write it and they give it. It's so interesting because they would have had to write it within like 2 seconds. Because think about it. He's already cut to pieces. He's already they did shechita to him. He's going to be dying. How long does it take the second they slit somebody's throat? Saying
30 seconds?
Yeah, I'm saying like, mamash, you know what it is?
While he's still alive.
Yeah. You know what it is.
If not, Because
But then it's get la'achar mitah. It's a get after that. You know what that is? You know, like it's we're talking about you know how long it takes to write a get? You know, very long time. You understand? 40 minutes. 40 minutes is fast even. Some people take an hour. Like mamash, you know, like okay, some people might take half an hour. It depends on the person, obviously. But it takes time.
it doesn't work. You ask for it and it's done.
No, it's the second he dies, that's it. Yeah. I don't know.
Oh.
Which one?
So when it's
So it says the Gemara, right? Hach Yasha, can you compare both cases? Hatam over there, Datut Silutahi. His mind was clear when he said it. Uchishuta udatchila be. The weakening of the physical condition that was what began. And therefore, why the agents have the authority to execute the get? Hacha over here, Tatosha Gishtahi, meaning when the guy's coming and he's saying this, he's confused. Meaning when a person's going to be almost killed, right? He's dying. They killed him basically, and he's dying. So he's confused. It's not the same case where a guy comes and he says, give a get, and all of a sudden now something happened to him. You understand? So says the Gemara, the Shmuel actually says, says if someone cuts a man's throat, and he cut the majority of the you know, the esophagus and the trachea, and then he runs, and the witnesses observed him, they're going to testify about his death. If you're going to tell me that he's still alive, why can you testify that the guy died? Why can they testify that the guy died? That's false testimony. Because obviously he's considered dead the second that happens. So how many they said he's still alive, but we know he's eventually going to die. It doesn't exist that the guy's going to continue living. So they're going to now come and ask the following question: so does the person get galuten? Alama Tanya, why do we learn he doesn't go to galut? So says the Gemara, was stated on him. We suspect that the ruach came in and made the person's condition bad. Or maybe he caused his own death. Right? Okay. Maybe now what's the difference between them? He says that he's in a marble house, but he was moving a lot. Or he didn't move a lot. Right? But basically, if he moves a lot, that will cause his own death. Right? Get liishtecha. If a person becomes mute and they tell him, shall we write a get to the guy's wife? Right? And we said yes. And right, so we check him out. Whether he nods his house. Yes, no, they want to check him out. He says, one second, why do we suspect that a nodding movement means no, no? Inami, or maybe the opposite. Shichya means yes, yes. They check in intervals. Meaning they tell you, what's your name? John Doe? He says yes. Are you the son of this? Yes or no. That means they're checking him with yes and no. What is yes and what is no? It's not as if not, then it could be yes, yes, yeah. Really, it was no, no, no. And no, no, no means yes, yes, yes. You understand? So because when you check yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. So maybe we're gonna check, we're gonna suspect that it also took hold of him. No, they do one no and two yes. They're gonna ask him a question that it's one no, two yes. Like that's how they're doing it. Okay? They're just going to ask him things which are suitable in the summer, winter in the summer, to try to check him out. Mind you, what are they? They're going to ask him, do you want coats and everything in the summer, or linen sheets? Maybe he's got chills, or maybe or maybe he's got a fever. Meaning, imagine right now, it's freezing cold outside. You're going to tell him, do you want me to open the window for you? What's this guy doing? You understand? Or it's boiling hot, and you're gonna come and you want a coat. What are you asking for? It's like
if he has a fever.
Exactly. Okay. Ela bepedi, but rather we're talking about seasonal fruits. We're talking about fruits, not about he's got all these things.